This morning, the beverage that might be in your hand right now is getting more expensive.
International tariffs put on coffee-producing countries are hiking up prices.
With coffee prices surging and consumer spending falling, the coffee industry is in crisis, and the big companies such as Starbucks and Costa have responded by slashing jobs and closing stores. But how has one small South London producer managed to buck the trend and carve out a niche in this very aggressive industry?
Coffee is a super competitive space, and you've got, amazing, very small local businesses. You've got some of the world's biggest chains in the world all trying to do things. And, it's been huge challenges. Of course, the one that it's hard to not have stand out is the day that your entire high street business gets closed by the government and you go from, however many millions of revenue to zero overnight with a few hundred people to figure out what to do with that. Hopefully the business will never face a challenge like that again.
So how has Grind grown from just one store into £40 million a year business, winning SME of the year along the way and partnering with big names such as Gary Neville?
The original idea for Grind was purely out of necessity. I inherited my dad's old mobile phone business, which was in a small circular building on Old Street Roundabout, and I decided to turn it into a coffee shop. And a lot has happened since then, and way more than I could ever have imagined. The brand has changed a huge amount. I mean, we went from one kind of very hipster style Shoreditch coffee shop to now, the breakout specialty coffee brand in the UK that's available everywhere, from our stores to all of the grocers to onboard British Airways.
For Grind, great coffee starts with a bean, and that means finding the best suppliers. That job falls to Grind's head of coffee, Howard Gill, who had just landed back in the UK from his latest bean hunting trip to Brazil.
The coffee starts on the farm, on the trees, and it gets picked and processed and driven to the port in Brazil, for example, in Santos, and then it gets shipped to us here in the roastery, and then we take the green beans and we roast them and deliver them out to you guys.
But there's more to the coffee business than finding the perfect bean. So how has Grind managed to create a coffee that stands out in such a competitive market?
We want to just take the quality of everything up. So, so that's what we're really, really focused on. Taking that speciality coffee piece, which we learn, the hard way on the high street in real life, and now translating that into all the different ways that people buy coffee.
So what's the secret to the perfect cup of coffee? While we had Howard in his laboratory, we wanted to ask him how he would make his perfect cup of coffee.
It's a very simple brewing method. You basically have a paper filter. We're going to wet the filter paper. This way, you're not going to taste any of those papery flavors. I've got 32 grams of coffee here. We're going to pour around 80 grams of water on top. Start my timer. Wait for a little bit, around 15 seconds.
Cheers.
See what you think. Super sweet.
That is really sweet, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's really sweet straight away on the palate. It's really light as well. You don't get
Yeah.
any of the heavy, obviously there's no burn in there because
Yeah.
it's not been burnt, but it's really light and it's really floral and really sweet. Over the past 5 years, Grind has continued to diversify and innovate. Its latest innovation is instant coffee that can be made with both hot and cold water. These initiatives are all part of the desire to create a sustainable global coffee giant.
One of the things that's amazing about Grind now, but also makes it challenging, is that we've got these distinct businesses. So we have our high street business, we have our online business, and we have our grocery business and B2B with some amazing partners. So they're all kind of their own business. So keeping that whole ship moving in the same direction and keeping the values and the brand aligned between all of those is hard.
The coffee chain now operates a total of 14 physical stores and 3 coffee trucks in London, Manchester and Dubai.
The people all work really well together, and it's just a really nice place to work. It's a really fast-paced environment. I get to meet a lot of different people from different backgrounds, and I think it's quite entertaining as well as kind of like fulfilling.
From just one store to a £40 million a year business, Grind and its iconic pink coffee cans have taken over the UK coffee scene. At a time when the industry is in crisis, it's a brand to watch.